Hello everyone, thanks for your interest in this video and topic. I wanted to share some of my experience and knowledge regarding achieving a multi-generational wealth family legacy and how to give your family a higher probability to preserve your family's legacy and wealth for many generations. Just a little bit on my own personal family's background. On my father's side of the family, we have had a working farm in the family since the late 1850s, to be precise since 1858, so around 160 years or roughly 7 generations. There were a few interruptions to our ownership of that piece of land and the farm. The farm and land are located in eastern Germany, and during the Russian communist occupation of East Germany after World War II, which lasted for about 40 years, my family was dispossessed of their farm by the communist government of East Germany. But fortunately, we were able to get the farm back after the reunification of Germany in the 1990s. Currently, the farm is about 200 acres and owned to 2/3 by my father and to about 1/3 by an uncle. I'm bringing my family history and farm up in the context of multi-generational family wealth preservation because in my experience, having a piece of land in the countryside with a dwelling or multiple dwellings on it exponentially increases the probability that wealth will remain in the family for long periods of time. And this brings us to step 1 and the main point of my action plan. If your family has achieved and reached a level of prosperity which enables you to make a purchase like that, you should really seriously consider making it, because having a farm or country estate in the family creates a home base, an anchor point for your family, which will fill the members of your family with security and certainty, which in turn will give them more confidence to follow their inspirations and inner guidance, to take risks and follow their passions, which usually results in more wealth and prosperity in the long term, because they know they can always return to home base if their plans, projects, and visions don't quite or immediately work out or manifest as planned. Your farm or country estate serves as a multi-purpose insurance and inspiration policy for your family, so to speak. You can start with a small piece of land first, around 10 acres or so, if you don't feel comfortable with the responsibilities or don't have the funds to purchase a larger piece of land at first. Be patient and persistent, and remember that you are working on a project and vision that will outlive and outlast you. Ideally, by many centuries, if you think and plan wisely and intelligently ahead for many generations. Let us now switch to the next more practical and somewhat unconventional steps in our action plan. Step 2 is that I recommend for all your family members to read the books Creating Money by Sinea Roman, The Life You Were Born to Live by Dan Millman, and to go through the value determination process by Dr. John D. Martini. You can find all the relevant links in the description. The knowledge you will gain by reading these books and by determining your true, authentic hierarchy of values and priorities will assist you and your family members in the process of wealth building and abundance creation, and will greatly enhance your and your family's members' lives and your money creating, manifesting, and preservation capabilities. Step 3 is that I recommend to you and your family members to take 1 drop of liquid iodine daily and also to take a liquid vitamin B complex daily. Iodine and vitamin B deficiency are reaching epidemic proportions, even in the developed countries again, because the table salt and foods that iodine is added to supposed to supply us with these important nutrients oftentimes don't contain high enough levels of it. Plus, more and more people eat less and less salt, and it is more difficult for our bodies to absorb iodine in salt form as opposed to its liquid form. Iodine and vitamin B12 have a whole host of benefits. Among them are cancer, dementia, and depression preventing properties. You can find more information on this topic in the description. Taking these vital supplements and nutrients will greatly enhance your and your family's mental clarity and capabilities, and overall physical health and vitality, which in turn will lead to greater abundance and prosperity, because you will be able to make better decisions and work more efficiently and effectively on your projects, goals, and dreams. Step 4 is to teach yourself and your family members about the basics of investing. Financial literacy is falling in the US, and many people simply don't know how to most effectively invest their money for the long term, and therefore are never able to build multi-generational wealth. Key concepts to study for yourself and your family members are compound interest, interest on interest, or using dividends to buy more dividend-paying stocks and assets, and how reinvesting the dividends and interest from one's investment creates a snowball effect over long periods of time and leads to exponential growth of one's financial savings and investments over one's lifetime. Research the so-called DRIP, Dividend Reinvestment Plan, and the concept of total return investing, which takes into account dividend and interest income plus capital appreciation. The next concept, equity risk premium, the relationship of the S&P 500's earnings and dividend yield compared to the earnings and dividend yield of the 10-year US Treasury note. This knowledge will enable you to better time when to invest or not to invest in the stock market, and to determine whether holding larger cash positions and buying government bonds instead of stocks offers the better risk to reward option for investing your money. Free cash flow yield to enterprise value is a simple formula to determine the quality of a business or stock one wants to invest in. The enterprise value of a company is its market capitalization plus its long-term debt minus its cash on the balance sheet. Using a company's free cash flow and dividing it by the enterprise value gives one a company's free cash flow yield relative to the company's enterprise value. Usually the higher the free cash flow yield is, the more undervalued and the greater of a bargain a company is. But there are of course always exceptions to the rule. But it is probably the best fundamental investment indicator there is. The final recommendation, or step 5, is to study the works by James E. Hughes Jr. on multi-generational family wealth management, planning, and preservation. Particularly his work on shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations, and how this proverb must not necessarily apply and be the fate of your family if you and your family plan ahead wisely with a long-term outlook and vision that goes beyond 3 generations and considers and challenges you to envision what you want your family to be like and look like in 7 generations time from now, for example. I also created specific YouTube playlists on some of the topics discussed in this video, which you can find in the description. I hope this short video and the information I shared with you can be of assistance to you and your loved ones. All the very best to you and yours.